In the remote village of La Tuna, nestled in Mexico's Sinaloa Mountains, Joaquín Guzmán Loera was born in 1957 into a life of farming and poverty. This unforgiving landscape, peppered with poppies and marijuana, would shape his future as the infamous drug lord El Chapo. The conditions of his early life fostered his ambitions to seize control of the region's lucrative drug trade. By the age of 15, Guzmán was working with his cousins cultivating marijuana and opium poppies. These humble beginnings laid the groundwork for his entrance into the drug world. Fueled by both necessity and opportunity, he learned the trade from top to bottom, setting the stage for his future endeavors. In the late 1970s, El Chapo joined the Guadalajara cartel, where he quickly ascended ranks due to his cunning and brutality. Under the mentorship of Miguel Ángel Félix Gallardo, he learned the inner workings of international drug trafficking. It was here he honed his skills, preparing to build his own empire. Guzmán's first major success came with the distribution of cocaine throughout the U.S. in cooperation with Colombian cartels. This collaboration marked the beginning of his financial empire. By orchestrating logistics for transporting massive quantities, he garnered respect and fear from his peers. Infamy followed fortune as the Mexican government began targeting major drug cartel leaders. In 1989, after the arrest of Félix Gallardo, Guzmán was primed to step into a leadership role. This pivotal moment thrust him into the public eye as he consolidated power within the fractured cartel landscape. Guzmán's cunning was perhaps best epitomized by his development of sophisticated smuggling routes, including a labyrinthine network of cross-border tunnels. These allowed for the covert and efficient transportation of drugs, earning Guzmán a reputation as a strategic mastermind. This innovation solidified his dominance in the drug trade. As leader of the newly crowned Sinaloa cartel in the early 1990s, Guzmán expanded operations beyond cocaine into methamphetamine and heroin. This diversification made the cartel a preeminent power, feared by law enforcement and rival gangs alike. With business booming, Guzmán became increasingly notorious on both sides of the border. The escalating violence between rival cartels marked an era of brutal turf wars throughout the 1990s. Infamous for his ruthlessness, El Chapo's methods included targeting anyone who opposed him, reinforcing his dreaded reputation. His reign of terror extended across Mexico, leaving a bloody trail of casualties and corruption. Despite his notoriety, Guzmán's arrest in 1993 at the Mexico-Guatemala border highlighted his vulnerability. Captured inside a hotel in Guatemala, his apprehension was a major symbol of hope against rampant cartel violence. Yet for Guzmán, it was merely a setback that would fuel a saga of escape and further crimes. Sentenced to 20 years in Mexico's Puente Grande maximum security prison, El Chapo was undeterred. Using bribes and guile, he turned his incarceration into a business opportunity, continuing his operations with undiminished power. His resilience would soon be legendary after orchestrating a miraculous escape. In 2001, after a mere 8 years behind bars, Guzmán made his legendary escape from Puente Grande in a laundry cart. This audacious act catapulted him into the realm of criminal legend, undermining Mexico's authority and showcasing his audacity. It was a strategic blunder for authorities, yet a remarkable triumph for Guzmán. The 2000s solidified El Chapo's international influence as his cartel facilitated over half of the drugs entering the United States. The Sinaloa cartel's reach grew global, importing chemical precursors from Asia and establishing new markets elsewhere. Guzmán's empire was vast, reflecting his strategic business acumen. Infamous and elusive, Guzmán topped the world's most wanted lists. His cat-and-mouse game with law enforcement epitomized his career, featuring elaborate ruses, disguises, and brokered political protection. The relentless pursuit by authorities intensified, underlining the international scope of his criminal activities. The drug lord's network was also surprisingly democratic, recruiting from within his community and providing gainful employment where few alternatives existed. This approach generated loyalty among followers, while cementing his status as a Robin Hood figure to many. Yet beneath this loyalty lay dangerous manipulation. As Guzmán's power grew, so did his list of enemies. The 2010s saw concerted efforts by rival cartels to dismantle his empire, culminating in fierce internecine conflicts that plunged entire regions into chaos. This turmoil strained relationships and drained resources, making Guzmán's dominance increasingly precarious. In 2014, Guzmán was recaptured by Mexican Marines in Mazatlan after a 13-year flight. His capture was celebrated as a victory for law enforcement, but tinged with skepticism, as many pondered the potential for yet another escape. The world watched with bated breath for the next chapter in his saga. His imprisonment in Altiplano, a supposedly impenetrable fortress, seemed an assured victory for justice. Yet Guzmán's influence behind bars remained formidable. Even within these isolated walls, he continued to command attention and loyalty, hinting at the persistent challenge in eradicating his reach. In an act that surpassed his previous escapades, Guzmán orchestrated an audacious second escape in July 2015. Emerging through a mile-long tunnel leading directly into his cell, this meticulously planned operation again humiliated Mexican authorities. It stood as a testament to his wealth, connections, and audacity. Following his escape, Guzmán's return to the drug trade was marked by renewed ambition and fervor. Yet fatigue from constant evasion began to weigh. While his operations resumed, the immense pressure stirred risk-taking and brash decisions, catalyzing a further unraveling of his once ironclad control. The dramatic confrontation with actor Sean Penn and the ensuing Rolling Stone article in January 2016 marked a turning point. This meeting inadvertently aided authorities by exposing Guzmán's location. What was intended as an image-building exercise irrevocably linked him to a bold miscalculation. 6 months later, Guzmán was recaptured in his home state of Sinaloa. Again captured by Mexican Marines, this takedown showcased a coordinated effort leveraging intelligence from global agencies. Jubilant celebrations erupted across Mexico as El Chapo was finally brought to justice. In a dramatic twist, Guzmán was extradited to the United States in January 2017. Transferred to New York, he faced charges that could not be influenced by his wealth or power in Mexican society. This move marked a definitive shift in jurisdiction over his fate and heralded a historic trial. Overseeing the trial was the U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of New York. This legal process was meticulously organized, with extensive security measures in place due to Guzmán's notorious history of escapes. The trial promised to unveil the inner workings of the cartel, captivating the world's attention. The prosecution laid out Guzmán's criminal empire with a series of damning testimonies. Witnesses from law enforcement and former cartel insiders provided insights into his operations, revealing the mechanisms behind his drug distribution methods and the violence employed under his command. These revelations riveted audiences worldwide. During the trial, Guzmán's defense portrayed him as a scapegoat for corruption within Mexican law enforcement and government. They painted him as a player no different from others in the tangled hierarchy of cartel leadership. This narrative aimed to deflect and counteract the overwhelming evidence presented. The verdict was delivered in February 2019. Guzmán was found guilty on all 10 federal charges. This historic sentence included drug trafficking, money laundering, and weapons-related offenses. For many, this outcome symbolized a step forward in the fight against global narcotics trafficking. El Chapo's sentencing closed a chapter on a life marked by ambition, cunning, and ruthlessness. Sentenced to life imprisonment plus 30 years without parole at a supermax facility in Colorado, his influence on the drug trade lingered despite incarceration. It was an indelible end to a life of criminal notoriety. However, Guzmán's arrest did little to dismantle the network he constructed. The Sinaloa cartel remains active, maintained by heirs and allies ready to adapt and expand. This persistent relevance exemplifies the endemic challenges in dismantling entrenched criminal organizations, fueled by demand and corruption. El Chapo's legend inspires not only future cartel operatives, but has infiltrated popular culture. Movies, music, and television continue to echo his exploits, both demonizing and mythologizing Guzmán. This enduring legacy underscores the blurry lines between crime, celebrity, and infamy in the modern era. His story, though brutal and criminal, is also one of complex socioeconomic dynamics. Rooted in poverty, El Chapo's ascent reflects systemic inequities and the struggles faced by many in the Mexican drug trade. It highlights the difficult choices made by those marginalized economically and socially. The global war on drugs continues as nations strive to learn from past failures. Guzmán's incarceration serves as a case study for international cooperation in tackling drug cartels. It invokes dialogue on effective policy strategies to curb such formidable networks. Ongoing anti-cartel efforts face numerous hurdles, notably widespread corruption in governance and law enforcement. Despite these adversities, El Chapo's successful prosecution indicates progress, yet poses essential questions about sustainable reforms to dismantle such pervasive structures. The impact of El Chapo extends beyond criminal circles into societal changes within Mexico. Increased dialogue on governance, justice, and socioeconomic policies are a part of his enduring legacy. His downfall inspires both dread and hope as a catalyst for potential systemic change. Perhaps his greatest legacy is the stark reminder of the web of crime, poverty, and power within which he operated. Addressing this complexity remains a core challenge in combating global trafficking. Yet with every downfall, there remains the potential for profound reflection and advancement. As Mexico and other nations grapple with ongoing cartel activities, El Chapo's storied career stands as both a cautionary tale and a blueprint for aspiring criminals. It leaves a legacy that remains intertwined with the challenges of law, order, and international collaboration against powerful illicit regimes. Guzmán's extraordinary rise and fall highlight the impact one life can have on global affairs. As his story's cadence wanes behind prison walls, the dialogue about societal responses to the drug trade endures. Learning from El Chapo's trajectory offers insights into addressing the roots of such pervasive criminal enterprises. Ultimately, El Chapo exemplifies the dual nature of ambition. His path wrought devastation while inspiring tales across nations. His life serves as both a warning and a narrative, compelling societies to ponder the complex intersections of law, economy, and ethics. His shadow, long cast, urges enduring vigilance and sagacity,